So let Mr. Krassyuk answer his 9 million messages. So it's like I'm sat with Eddie Hearn. It's exactly the same. We're always on the phone. October Red, I'm joined by Alex Krassyuk. Thank you so much for your patience and your time. You're all talked out.
My pleasure. My pleasure. It's a part of our job. We have to talk. I'm not a big talker, actually. Sometimes you spend time with your friends, but it's not like a part of the job. It's more fun. Here we are doing business, and that's why, like an athlete, he has to touch each one of his fans to have this personal touch, to establish the proper relationships. That's why we have to do it as well. We need to talk and do it very professionally and very sincerely. From the bottom of the heart, you have to tell not formal things, but tell information, because this information is a subject for media people, for journalists. That's a part of their job. So, as same like you, myself, we are doing our jobs.
Speaking about doing your job, you have been with Alexander from the beginning. Talk to us a little bit about that journey, because in one of your previous conversations you were just having, you said there was a point where nobody wanted to take any notice of him. But look at the trajectory. Look at where Alexander is now. Talk to us a bit about that, Alex.
No one believed in Alexander Usyk when he was in Olympic team. People were saying, well, he became the Olympic champion just by chance. He's a coward. He's running fast, he has no future in professionals. Okay. Step number one, he's fighting in semi-professionals in WSB. Oh yeah, not bad, but did you see his eyes? He's scared. Then he's fighting as a heavyweight with a guy sized like Fury, the Italian. He fought Joe Joyce in the same series, and he won. Well, yeah, decent guy, maybe, but not too much. Okay, what's next? He turned the professional. Since the first fight, all shows were sold out. Where Usyk participated in Ukraine, the shows that I promoted, they were all sold out except one. One show that we put on a stadium, on a soccer stadium, with the capacity of 45,000, which was the Lviv Arena. It was in 2014, I suggest, probably in 2014, in October, and that was his fourth fight. Fourth fight, and we didn't sell out the arena, but we set the completely new record for national record for attendance for boxing. It was like 13,000 people, and the fourth fight. Yeah, but okay, that was a proper promotion. But the fighter is like, even Ukrainian media, they did not agree to put him in the in their ranking in top 10, because we have other guys from overseas who are more decent than Usyk. Okay, then we had some cruiserweights in Russia who were also on media, and any of them will beat Usyk. Okay, no trust in Usyk. We put him in the position of mandatory, because he had something like 4 or 5 defenses of the WBO Intercontinental title. Paco Valcarcel finally put him in the position, and the guy is a Polish Glowacki, promoted by my friend, who is my co-promoter now in Poland, by Andrzej Wasilewski. People start to think, he might get a chance, but it's still tough. It's tough. You're fighting in Poland, so the chances are not that high. But Usyk is skilled. Glowacki is not that skilled. Okay, Usyk becomes the champ. We go to United States. We have Mchunu on the card of Oscar de la Hoya's Golden Boy, where Bernard Hopkins was having his farewell fight when he fell out of the ring. Usyk was there fighting Mchunu. Very difficult opponent to impress the public. I mean, with his style, fighting him, it wouldn't look very spectacular, but it's technically a tough fight. But the thing is that Usyk, when he appeared on a press conference, when Bernard, you know how Bernard used to conduct press conferences, you can just drive back home, come back, and he's still gonna be speaking. And they invited Usyk to introduce to the public for the first time, and he just appeared on the stage saying a couple words like, "Hello, I am Alexander Usyk. See you Saturday night." And people were sitting like, "Wow, who was this?" The charisma was so strong. So he brought the attention of the public. Then we had the first ever HBO show triple header with three Ukrainians. We had Usyk, Loma, and Gvozdyk in Washington. No, not Washington D.C. It was a casino. United States. Wow, you felt like at home. Completely packed arena, only Ukrainian flags. Usyk was fighting Michael Hunter, the big guy, the big one. I mean, that was a huge victory. It looked easy, but it really wasn't. There was, because I consider Hunter to be one of the most underestimated heavyweights now. He is very strong. I mean, he was not promoted well, but not promoted. He was not managed probably well, but he's really strong. I trust he can beat Anthony Joshua. I trust he can beat Daniel Dubois. I trust he can beat many other fighters. So then, next step, World Boxing Super Series. A chance to become the undisputed. Did I trust the people who organized it? No, I thought this is crazy idea. How can you make money on it? Oh, so you're now promising something, but you will not be able to deliver. Friend of mine, my actually guru in boxing, Chris Meyer, who was the head of Sauerland events, he was involved in Super Series, so he was the man I trusted, and he told me, he convinced me, he said, "Alex, trust me, we have money, all guaranteed." So Usyk was the last to sign, the last champion to sign, and we went to the draw to Monaco. That was a good one. Usyk had to choose first because he was ranked number one, and he chose Marco Huck.
Right, okay.
So the toughest of the opponents. So he could choose any of four, but he chose the toughest one. He was asked why. He said, "Why? Because I want to go through challenges." He got Huck big severely. Of course, Marco Huck, after the fight at the press conference, he said Usyk has to thank referee for stopping the fight. Otherwise, I would kill him. Then we had a very tough fight with Bridis, the unification with WBC in Riga. That was probably the toughest fight of his career. And then an easy one with Gassiev in Moscow. The fight itself was the easiest one, but for me it was the most difficult one to organize because that was a disaster. So you are undisputed. By that time we got in contact with Eddie Hearn, and we were thinking if the fight with Gassiev doesn't take place, then let's try Tony Bellew. So Usyk has become the undisputed. We met with Eddie in Paris, Georges V Avenue, 4 saisons, 4 seasons in Paris. We spent like 10 minutes talking business and agreed on everything, on a co-promotion within 10 minutes. on a small sheet of paper. And then we spent like a couple hours just talking other topics, other things. We let our lawyers do the paperwork, and then the new journey started. We had 3 fights, co-promotional deal. Of course, Eddie was promoting AJ, and he didn't look very willing to make this fight because AJ is the cow, golden cow, let's say. Why should you put him on a risk? It's the same like Tyson Fury for Queensberry. No need. That's why the fight with AJ did not happen within the 3 fight deal with Matchroom. When it expired, the next fight that took place was actually with AJ, because by that time we put Usyk in the mandatory position because he vacated the WBC Super Champion belt and he was nominated as the mandatory in the heavyweights. So Fury and AJ were talking half year. They were talking on the undisputed. It broke down by the arbitration in the United States. Eddie gives me a call in the morning and says, we have some fight to make, so let's make it happen. And we made it on the Tottenham Stadium. Usyk won. We had the rematch clause. We went to Saudi Arabia. Usyk confirmed. Now we are here announcing the next step for Usyk, the mandatory WBA mandate. Now it's his time to comply with the mandatories. But we are on the pace for the big fight to take place. I mean, Tyson Fury, it has to happen. Sorry for not being short.
No, it doesn't matter, because what you've done there is you've showed us a journey that a fighter has been through, where he's constantly been put down, constantly told he'll never do it, constantly told no. You have stuck with him through that, but he has also from that built this kind of resilience where, like you said, he could have chose easier fights, but he went and said, no, I want the tougher one. And that kind of explains why he is the way he is, that mentality of, I'm just going to keep pushing through anyway. So you've explained that there, so no, that wasn't long.
Yeah, that's exactly his mindset. He doesn't want to choose the easiest way. He wants to choose the way that could bring most benefit for everyone. And this is normally not the easiest one.
A promoter yourself that has worked with several promoters throughout the years, some fights 5 minutes to make, some fights never happened. You're now working alongside Frank that you could have had the Tyson Fury fight with. We could talk about that all day. I'm not going to, because you've done it already. How has it been with Daniel Dubois, and what are the noticeable differences in making that fight happen? Because this one seemed like a walk in the park, basically.
It seems like, but it's not.
Really?
Absolutely not. After unsuccessful negotiations for Tyson Fury, we jumped back to Daniel Dubois and started the same strategy of unsuccessful negotiations. Means same approach. The good thing was that the difference between Tyson Fury fight and Daniel Dubois is that Daniel Dubois is a mandatory and it's conducted according to the rules. It is managed by WBA, and in case you're not reaching the agreement, you go to the purse bid. But we called the immediate purse bid at the end of April 26, I think. But the purse bid itself took place 1 month later. Doesn't look really immediate. Right. It helped, because when someone wins the purse bid, he has the right to enjoy everything. Not that easy. We had to put the deal for BT Sports, for TNT in action, and it led us to some long talks on contracts, on paperwork. It's a bit exhausting, but at the end of the day, it ended up with something. So that was the first signature ever achieved within last 12 months of talks. That's a significant success, I suggest.
I'm surprised you haven't got more grey hairs. And there was me making assumptions that this was the easier fight to make. Alexander's career, I understand that he wants all the belts. That's his kind of mindset. I'm going to work through. I've got a strategic order. I like order. I'm going to push through every single domino until I get to the target.
Correct.
How does he then deal with, okay, the Tyson Fury fight is not going to happen yet, but we're going to play with the rule. We're going to work with the rules and hopefully push it back in there. Is that possibly one of the reasons why you joined up with Skills Challenge to kind of like narrow the options for Tyson Fury to end up pushing him towards that fight?
Listen, the fight in London on the 29th of April did not happen because Tyson Fury wanted money. Now, we went to Saudi Arabia. We signed with our partners, allowing Tyson Fury to satisfy his money desire or ambition or whatever you call it, to over-satisfy it. Means that he will be or was already offered a money that exceeds his possible purse with Usyk in London at least twice, maybe even 3 times. I'm talking money because it's important for comprehension what stands behind it. And now, if he walks away, there is nothing to discuss. Then it's not even money. Then we all made a mistake thinking that money drives him. No, that's something different. That's something else. But let's see what happens. Because Tyson, we treat him with respect. I'll be fair with you. I mean, I like him as a person. I like him as a personality, as a fighter, as an athlete. Even though he was fighting Vladimir Klitschko, and I was with Klitschko by that time, no one liked him because he was so arrogant, he was so talking rude language, didn't look good on to compare him with very intelligent Klitschko. But I saw in his eyes that something stands behind it. I mean, that there is a very pleasant personality. I don't know, because I never talked to him like privately, but I have this feeling. I don't know whether I'm right or not, but the feeling is. As a fighter, all the respect, great fighter, great skills, size, determination, heart, footwork, techniques, everything is at place. But there's one thing I cannot excuse to Tyson Fury is the disrespect to the fans. Because fans made him rich, fans made him famous, fans made him, put him on the top of the world. And fans expect something in return. Exactly, to be paid off. And there's only one thing to pay off. It's undisputed heavyweight championship between Alexander Usyk and Tyson Fury. There's no space to run, no space to hide. That's why we were in Saudi, proving our real intention. We are already signed. Tyson, the ball is on your field now. Kick it hard, come on. Agree on an offer. There is no space to negotiate. Let's just take it or leave it. If you take it, you're the man. If you don't take it, questions.
We like it. Obviously, Alexander's going in to fight Daniel, and I'm not asking you to overlook any opponent. Alexander's always been clear that he never overlooks anybody. He trains hard to fight his competitors, those that want to step in the ring for him. But we can see that the overarching thing here is for him to become undisputed. Having that mentality going into this fight, how does he then focus fully on this fight with that end goal in place?
He's not thinking of anything else but this fight. He's in a training camp. He has a brilliant team of many people involved in the preparation. And it works like a factory, like a mechanism. There is no talks about Tyson Fury. There are no talks, no thoughts about Tyson Fury. It's all about building up physical side of boxing. You know what I mean. The sports side of the fight is built up inside the training camp. And the opponent is Daniel Dubois. So it's all focused on Daniel Dubois. That's why he has no space to even to start thinking about Tyson Fury. He's concentrated. He took the decision. He might be thinking of that before he gives his consent to fight. But after he gave his consent to fight, he doesn't change his decision. It's already taken. We go the direction.
I'm not asking you to be psychic and get out your crystal ball, but you seem to be somebody that can look at people and kind of figure them out. We have a group of heavyweights. You've kind of like described a little bit what you believe the personality of Tyson Fury is. When you look at Daniel Dubois, what do you see?
He's a shy kid. It's not bad. But I think he was a little bit over, how to say, overpressed, probably by some of his trainers or his relatives, maybe his father. I had this in my experience because I had several fighters who were very, very extremely cared by their fathers, over cared, that they didn't seem to be to carry responsibilities themselves. So they tried to share the responsibilities always with the father, and the reason for that was always a father. I don't know Daniel's father. I don't know. I just met Daniel's trainer. Maybe his last trainer was the one to conduct this type of behavior. But he looks a good guy for me. He doesn't look confident because he has no basis to be confident. He didn't fight in amateurs that much. He lost in the past. So you have to stay on the ground, on a hard ground, to be confident. He did not. That's why I think. But as a personality, he seems a very, very nice kid. As a, let's say, as a. Thank you very much.
Where's mine? Only joking. It's a joke.
As a fighter, you can watch him fighting. Yeah, he has a talent. He has a lot of things to do. But to fight Usyk, it's not sufficient. You have to be a man already. He's not mature yet.
We like it. Alex, this could carry on for hours. I've taken up enough of your time. I look forward to speaking to you again. I think we've kind of like touched the surface. So when we speak again, we can pick up where we left off. It's been an absolute pleasure. Alex, all the best in Poland. And I'll speak to you soon.
Thank you very much. It was my pleasure. All the best to you.
Hi, and thank you for watching October Red Boxing. Like, subscribe, and tap the bell for notifications. You can also find us on Instagram at October Red Boxing and on Twitter, October Red UK. And remember, at October Red, we stay ready.